For today's video, we're going to go over some examples of order of operations problems. I'm going to have 6 examples for you. We're going to start off pretty simple, and then we're going to go to the quite a bit harder problems. What I do want to write, though, first is let's have a very quick review of order of operations, and specifically the acronym PEMDAS. So PEMDAS, we have P, then we have E, M, D, A, and S. And the P stands for parentheses, although it really stands for anything bracket-like. So, for example, parentheses, brackets, or braces. E stands for exponents. M stands, oops, I have an extra E in there. M stands for multiplication, and this goes from left to right. Division is D, and this is also from left to right. And multiplication and division are also taken in the same step, so we need to remember that. Addition is the next one, and that's from left to right. And subtraction is last from left to right. Okay. And just to double check, multiplication and division are together. Addition and subtraction are together. Okay. So we'll start off with our first problem here. We'll start off with a simple one. We will have 4 cubed minus 2 cubed. Okay, so in this problem I don't see any parentheses. However, I do see exponents. And so 4 cubed is 4 times 4 times 4. 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2. So 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. So 4 cubed is 64. 2 cubed, we have 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. And then I just need to subtract this now. I have no multiplication, no division, no addition, and I'm just left with subtraction. And so 64 minus 8 is 56. Okay. On to the next problem. Next problem will get a little bit more challenging. We will have 55 divided by 11, and this is in brackets, minus 0.2 cubed. Okay, so we have to remember PEMDAS. We have parentheses, but in this case we have brackets. We're looking for any grouping terms. And so the first thing I see is 55 divided by 11. And so inside of here, we now have to apply PEMDAS again. Although in this case we only have one operation, which is division. And so 55 divided by 11 is just 5. Okay. I'm going to bring down 0.2 cubed. Okay. And so now we have exponents to deal with. 0.2 cubed is 0.2 times 0.2 times 0.2. And 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. We have 3 decimal spots, so we're actually going to go out 3 decimal spots. We will get 2 zeros. 0.2 cubed is 0.008. And so now we just have to subtract that. If you work out the multiplication of 0.2 times 0.2 times 0.2, you're going to get 0.008. So we have 5 minus 0.008. And subtracting this out, we're going to get 4.992. as our final answer. Okay, we'll move on to our third problem now. Our third problem has 9 squared times 2 cubed minus 36 minus 6 in brackets squared. Okay. Starting again with PEMDAS, we see that we have the 36 minus 6 in a bracket. So we have to take care of the inside portion first, then we can square the terms. So 36 minus 6 is 30. I'm just going to bring down everything. So I have 9 squared minus 2 cubed minus now 30 squared. And so in this case, next thing is exponents. E for exponents. So 9 squared is 81. 2 cubed we did before, that is 8. Minus 30 squared. That's a little tricky, but 30 squared is 900. 30 times 30 is 900. Okay. 81 times 8 now. We'll have to do the multiplication next, so 81 times 8. I'll do that by hand. We have 81 times 8. 8 times 8 is 8. 8 times 8 is 64. So now I am left with 648 minus 900. And so the last two portions of order of operations, PEMDAS, we have addition and subtraction. In this case, we have no addition, so we're just going to subtract. 648 minus 900 now. We are going to end up with a negative number, but I'm going to go ahead and work this out. We'll have 900 minus 648. Figure out what our negative number is here. This is going to turn into an 8. I'm going to get 10, 9, 10 again. 10 minus 8 is 2. 9 minus 4 is 5. 8 minus 6 is 2 again. And we're going to be left with an answer of negative 252. Okay, halfway there. We have a few more problems to do. We're going to go one step harder now. We have 64 minus 8 times 2, all in brackets, plus 5 plus 3 in brackets squared. Okay. So in this case, with PEMDAS, we have two brackets this time. We have this one, we have the next one. 64 minus 8 times 2, and 5 plus 3. You'll take them from left to right. We'll start with the left side first. 64 minus 8 times 2. Now here, we have to apply order of operations to this inside portion, 64 minus 8 times 2. Well, in this case, we look and we see we don't have any exponents. We do have multiplication with 8 times 2. And then we have subtraction. So we have to do the multiplication first. So 8 times 2 in this case is 16. And so now we're going to have 64 minus 16. And we're going to be left with 48. Okay. On the other side, we just have 5 plus 3 squared. 5 plus 3 is 8. Now we're going to have to square that. And so I'm just going to bring this term down. And so we are going to have 48 plus 8 squared. That is the problem we're dealing with now. Okay, so I have two operations left. I have addition and I have an exponent. I have to take care of the exponent first. So 8 squared is going to be 64. And now I just have to add 48 to 64. Working that out, you can do it by hand or you can do it via mental math. I'm going to do it via mental math. 40 plus 60 is 100. 8 plus 4 is 12. 100 plus 12 is 112. You can break them up by like terms. You can have the tens and then the ones. Add them together and then add your subsequent answers together and you get 112. All right. 2 more problems to go. However, here is where they get fun. Do the next problem now. We'll have free plus, we're going to group this, 27 minus, and then we're going to have an inner group now, 6 squared times free squared. And that closes our inner group, and then our outer group ends also, and this whole thing is squared. Okay. I'm actually going to redo this just a bit. I want to make sure that these line up nice and that they're about the same size. There we go. Something like that. Okay. So we go back to PEMDAS. We see that we have an outer group and that we have an inner group. So we start with the outer group and we're going to work our way in. So I'm going to have 27. I'm just going to rewrite what I have on the inside. Minus 6 squared times free squared. And then this is all in parentheses. Now inside of here, I need to start order of operations again. And so now we deal with this inner group right here. And so now I have 6 squared times free squared. Okay. With order of operations, we do the exponents first, and then we'll multiply afterwards. I'm going to have 36 times 9. And so now what is 36 times 9? Well, 36, Actually, let's just go ahead and work it out by hand. 36 times 9. 6 times 9 is 54. Carry the 5. 9 times 3 is 27, plus 5 more is 324. So this is 324. Now I'm going to need to combine that with the 27 in our inner group. So I'm going to get 27 minus 324. This is going to be a negative number on the inside. And let's see, that'll be negative 297, I believe, if you work that out by hand. Another thing you can do is, well, 27 is 3 more than 24. And if you were taking 24 away from 324, you'll get 300. Take away 3 more and you get negative 297. All right, now I'm going to write out what I started with because we need to keep in mind of our end goal here. We have 3 plus the outer bracket. Inside here now we have the negative 297. And then the inner bracket ends, and we're going to square this. Okay. All right. So we have 2 operations left. Technically, I don't need the brackets. You can remove the brackets if you want. You could write this just as 3 plus negative 297 squared. I like to keep the brackets. One thing to note is that the negative number is squared. And I like to keep that notation. I like to make sure that I know that that negative is squared because that's actually going to be taken care of by multiplication here. Because a negative times a negative is a positive. And so in the end here, I'm going to end up with a positive. So now we have to do 297 squared. We'll work that out by hand. That's going to be a huge number. We're going to have 297 times 297. Oh, here comes the fun. All right. 7 times 7 is 49. Carry the 4. 9 times 7 is 63, plus 4 more is 7. Carry the 6. 7 times 2 is 14. Add the 6, we're going to get 2,079. Add a 0 now. 9 times 7 is 63. Carry the 6. 9 times 9 is 81, plus 6 more. I'm going to get a 7. I'm going to get an 8 on the outside here. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 8 more is 26. Now I'm going to add 2 zeros. And now all I have to deal with is just a 2. 2 is the easiest number here. 2 times 7 is 14, carry a 1. 2 times 9 is 18, plus 1 more, I get 19. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 more, I get 5. Okay. All right, now I just have to add this whole thing together. 9 plus 0 is 9. 7 plus 3 plus 0 is 10, carry a 1. 7 plus 4 is 11, add 1 more, you get 12. 2 plus 6 is 8, plus 9 is 17, plus 1 more is 18. Carry a 1. 2 plus 5 is 7, add 1 more, you get 8. And so now I am left with the 3 at the very beginning, plus this huge number, which is 88,209. Add 3 to that whole number, and you're going to be left with 88,212. Why is it always that the harder problems involve drastically larger numbers? All right, last problem for this video. For our last problem, we're going to have 21 minus, and this is going to be quite long, the group of 12 plus 7 minus 24. And the 12 plus 7 minus 24 is inside an absolute value, plus 3. Then we're going to end this bracket, and we're going to divide that by 8. Okay, so when we look at PEMDAS, we have our grouping to do, and so we're going to focus on this inner portion here first. Now, absolute values is another form of a grouping symbol, so we need to do that first, and then we can add the 3 back. So 12 plus 7 is 19, minus 24, we would usually end up with -5. However, that's inside an absolute value, and then we're going to add 3. And so -5, the absolute value of -5 is now +5. 5 plus 3 now is 8. Oops, something happened. Let's go down a bit. There we go. 5 plus 3 is now 8. So I'm going to write 8 in white. And I'm just going to bring back the rest of my terms. So I'm going to have 21 minus 8 squared divided by 8. Okay. So, exponents, multiplication, addition, subtraction. The next thing we have to do is exponents. 8 squared is now 64. I'm just going to bring back down the rest of my terms. And then we have subtraction and division left. Division goes first. So 64 minus divided by 8, is 8. So now we have just 21 minus 8, which should be 13. And that is our final problem. And that will do it for today.